Okay. Okay. Oh! Okay. He just assaulted me. This man had just assaulted me.
As COVID-19 continues to ravage America, another epidemic is emerging.
I don't like Asian people because they eat bats.
Ching chong too. And you got corona.
Harassment and hate crimes against Asian Americans are on the rise.
You're the weakest race on the planet.
Word.
The weakest.
Go back to whatever Asian country you belong in.
Okay, racist.
This is not your place.
Fueled by fear of the virus and ignorance about how it spreads. Many believe the xenophobia is coming from the very top.
I can name Kung Flu. Some people call it the Chinese flu, the China flu.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? A lot of
Because it
people
comes
say
from
it's
China.
racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China.
This is a message that's being echoed across the country.
Americans said we don't you here. That's why we elected President Trump.
101 East investigates the alarming attacks linked to COVID-19 and the Asian Americans fighting back. A summer afternoon in New York. Fathers and sons playing, teenagers just hanging out. It looks perfect. But this community is on edge.
We are not here to march on white people, Italian people, black people, Spanish people. We are here to stand together to march against racism.
In this predominantly white neighborhood in Brooklyn, a Chinese grandmother was attacked in broad daylight. The incident was so horrific, it made headlines.
Now to an Eyewitness News exclusive. An 89-year-old grandmother targeted in Brooklyn by two men. They never said a word before they slapped her and lit her clothes on fire.
This 89-year-old grandmother says she pulled her hair up so it wouldn't burn, then rubbed her back against the wall to put out the flames.
A manhunt is underway, but no one's been identified.
These are the suspects cops are looking for.
The attack sent shock and fear through the Asian American community because they believe it's a hate crime.
They actually planned this out. They put kerosene in their pockets and they walked the street masked up, ready to attack somebody. They said they planned on setting somebody on fire. If that's not hate crime, I don't know what the a hate crime is. Do you agree? Do you agree? If a Jewish man was to get burned today and set on fire, how would the NYPD respond to that? We want the same treatment.
This cry for justice is being shouted across the US. For months, America has been in the grips of a racial reckoning. Thousands of people have been marching in the Black Lives Matter protests, demanding an end to systemic racism against the black community. People from every ethnicity and age are joining the rallies. But now Asian Americans are rising up to fight for their own rights.
We can care for Black Lives Matter, we can care for our people at the same time.
In New York, an unlikely duo is leading this charge. Convict turned rapper China Mac and Hollywood actor and producer William Lex Ham.
All for one and one for all!
They say they could no longer ignore what was happening to their community after the Chinese grandmother was set on fire.
I was upset, I was angry, I was infuriated. That could be my mother, you know? That could be my grandmother.
This attack in New York is not an isolated incident since the spread of the coronavirus. I've been speaking with Asian Americans across the country who say racism is on the rise.
One guy tried to pull my mask down and then spit at me.
I've had 911 called on me twice by white people.
I'm the Kung Flu. I'm the coronavirus.
Hey yo! Hey yo!
In Texas, a Burmese father and his toddler were stabbed because their attacker allegedly thought they were Chinese.
Get out of here. Get out of my country. Get out of my neighborhood.
A Vietnamese bus driver in California was beaten with a baseball bat.
He struck my face twice with his fist.
Stand up, fight back!
A Korean woman in New York was punched in the face as she walked to work.
My head hit the ground, kind of like a basketball.
Since March, Asian Americans have reported over 2,600 incidents of racist abuse to advocacy groups. Researchers say many more are going unreported.
It's really hard.
But through this crisis, a bold new generation of Asian Americans is emerging.
I'm a firefighter, not a virus.
And they're demanding change.
I'm a chef, a neighbor, artist,
bus driver. I'm a doctor.
Fight the virus. Fight the virus.
I'm just tired of us being looked at as, weak. Us being, just allowing people to step on us and over us and attack us. We're not going to be respected if we're just going to be quiet and just take it.
Said my mama came from a foreign land. No silver spoon, chopsticks in my hand.
Fighting is something rapper China Mac has done his whole life. He's been in and out of juvenile homes since he was 8. As an adult, he spent 11 years in jail for shooting a man.
I would fight everybody, anybody, like whoever just even said anything to me, I would just fight. It didn't matter if they were the smallest guy or the biggest guy. It didn't matter if there was 1 or 10. I would fight.
He's still fighting, but these days it's with his words.
I arrived like Caesar did, trying to touch more lives than Jesus did.
Since he was released from jail 3 years ago, China Mac has become kind of a big deal in New York's hip-hop scene. On Instagram and YouTube, he has hundreds of thousands of fans.
Yeah, bring the power to the people. Long as I'm alive, we will never be beneath you. Races in their hearts, we will never be their equal. Time to fight us now, they will never be a sequel.
Today, he's recording a new track, inspired by the anti-racism protests sweeping the US.
This time is a different fight. It's a fight that I could live with. It's a fight that I feel is worthy, because so many times I fought for nothing.
Who you think built them train tracks? Do you know what we contribute? Can't erase that. Put in blood, sweat, and tears. Tell them this is payback.
I'm telling you, bro, like this song is like the whole soundtrack of just the times in general. Yeah, he's floating.
Bring the power to the people. Long as I'm alive, we will never be beneath you. Races in their hearts, we will never be their equal.
Do you think this track is going to upset some people?
Yeah, but also nothing changes without, people being offended. How many people were offended when Martin Luther King stepped up and said what he said and did what he did?
Yeah, present a budget.
China Mac's music may be confronting, but he says America needs to face prejudice head on.
Racism has been a part of this country since the very beginning. The reason why I'm focusing on, Asians and our plight that we are going through, not just in America, but the world, is because nobody else is doing it. Nobody else is fighting for it.
Yeah, we're going to LA.
It's a message that's hit a nerve with other Asian Americans. Since their protest in Brooklyn, China Mac and his fellow activist, William, have been flooded with support.
Everybody hitting on the comments like, we need you to do this here, we need you, because our people haven't been spoken for.
They're trying to call us out to come out to LA, San Francisco, where there's tons and tons and tons of Asians.
It changes. We've never seen people rally to fight against hate
and racism in this way. But then when we speak up, like, oh, it's not your time yet. Your issue, it's not that important. It's just a joke, right? I'm sick of that. So there's no more, we're not waiting for permission anymore.
In a New York suburb, William is busy planning the next rally.
Hey.
Hi, William. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for having me over. Is this your father?
Yep.
How you doing? I'm good. How are you? Nice to meet you. Hi, Mrs.
I'm curious to find out how his parents feel about his campaign. But it turns out they know nothing about it.
No, actually, no, I haven't told them anything at all.
You haven't told them about the protest?
I don't talk to you guys about this because I don't want to worry you guys about, like, but I'm always masked up, I have sanitizer.
With everything that's going on, it's easy to forget that the coronavirus is still rampant here. Will says he didn't want to worry his parents, but now his secret's out.
Someone did a recap video, so I'll show you this.
Wow, so many people that protest.
Yeah, look at all those people that came out.
Wow.
This was this Saturday.
Some black, some white people, some Indian.
Yeah.
They all get together. Yeah.
And that's my partner right here, China Mash. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Yes. Go for it. Yes.
Are you surprised that William has been organizing this?
Yeah, it's shocking, and I'm so proud of him, to do all these things, and it needs a lot of courage. I'm so proud of you, William.
Yeah.
Really, yes, I
really?
am. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am. From bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Thank you, Dad.
Will's dad, John, says racism isn't new to America. It was already thriving when he arrived here almost 50 years ago from Taiwan.
Even though this is a free country, but it's a lot of racism going on for generations. But I never talk to my son about what happened in the past. They call you a chink. Sometimes they hit you in the back when you're walking on sidewalk. You cannot go to certain neighborhoods.
What this is about? When these things used to happen to you, did you fight back?
Be honest with you, no. You just keep inside you and you just suffer,
John says he never complained, but he also never imagined that his son Will would have to deal with the same thing.
I kept it to myself. I cried to myself, and because I didn't want to worry my parents. I felt ashamed. I would bring food to school, people making fun of the food, the way it smells. Like, they found every opportunity to make me feel, that I don't belong. Why? Why do we, deserve this? What did we do to deserve this?
It's a question I hear again and again when I speak to Asian Americans about racism.
Every single time that I've ever stood up for myself, the room turns on me for disrupting the peace. But you do have chinky eyes. But I bet you do have a small penis. Come on, it's just a joke.
There is a dramatic rise. Since Trump has been using the China virus, it's okay to hate American Asians because they brought you this.
This is where I belong, and I want to fight for my rights.
When grandmas get attacked,
stand up and fight back!
Stand up, fight back!
And I'm crying out, stand up, fight back, right? When I'm crying this out, and I see everyone else really crying this out, it brings me such incredible joy because we've all been holding, this kind of stuff in.
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
As their campaign gains momentum, China Mac and Will bring their protest to Manhattan's Chinatown.
Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Show me what...
This iconic neighborhood has been hit hard by COVID. Many of the residents are older Asian immigrants who are disproportionately being targeted in hate crimes.
I'm Asian. And I'm willing to fight for my people. And I hope that you guys are willing to fight for our people too. They can't burn us all.
It's been a month since the Chinese grandmother was burned in Brooklyn. The NYPD still hasn't made an arrest, and they're not investigating it as a hate crime. Protesters are outraged.
All right, but when the grandma went to the precinct to report her hate crime, you know what they said to her? Go home and call 911. Go home and call 911. Do we not matter? It's true. Asian lives do not matter.
They will not respect us until we fight. I started juvenile system when I was 8 years old. I was getting picked on every day. I was the only Asian face there. Then one day I woke up and I had toothpaste all over my hair. I had piss in my shoes. And when I stepped into them shoes, I started crying. And I walked into the office where the staff was, and I told him, hey, I'm being picked on. You know what he told me? He said, the only thing that will ever get you respect is if you fight. This is what I'm fighting for now. I'm gonna put 100% in this. And I ask all of you, we need y'all to do the same.
These protesters are passionate, but both China Mac and Will admit there's only so much they can achieve on the streets. With the election looming, they want people to march all the way to the ballot box.
How you doing? What's your name? Kevin. Kevin.
Yeah, you registered to vote?
I am registered.
You're all registered to vote. All right. Are your friends registered and stuff?
All right, listen.
Today, they're filming a special episode of China Mac's popular YouTube channel, pushing people to vote.
Are you guys planning on voting this year?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's dope.
This generation has to show zero tolerance for what's been going on in the country.
Young people are certainly fired up. It's another story entirely for older voters. It's not that they don't have political opinions, they just don't see the point of elections.
佢幫唐人，佢而家都鬧到中國嘅病毒，中國功夫病毒又呢樣又嗰樣都係講我哋中國人嘅説話壞話。你話佢呢係咩人嚟㗎？
即係選舉有冇幫助啊？有冇幫助唐人啊？有冇幫助？有幫助有幫助啊！你選舉你做翻譯啊，有幫助。
One after another, older Asians are telling us they just don't want to vote.
Are you going to vote this year, sir?
No.
Why?
No, they're all You know that though? To honest tell you. 你睇嗰個老總統亂咁噏，阿侵你睇下。
如果我哋唔講咧，如果我哋唔出聲講，多啲人 vote， 多啲人出聲，佢哋 just 唔 care 我哋冇 voice。
到係如果真係有效力嘅咧，我諗到好多人出聲，但係所出聲嘅咧，幾十年咧，你出聲幾十年都冇即係冇 respond 嘅嘅，冇效嘅，冇人聽你講嘅嘅。
So there it is. It's not apathy or ignorance that keeps people from voting. It's a lifetime of disappointment. But across the Hudson River in Queens, the sentiment is very different.
Trump 2020! Law and order! Law and order! 4 more years! 4 more years!
This is the Chinese-American Alliance for Trump, and they'll definitely be lining up to vote. Many here are first-generation immigrants from China.
希望大家一起今年2020年4月3号投票给川普，2020冲！大家跟我一块喊，2020冲！
We left a socialist and communist country. We tried the freedom here. Now it's in danger. That's why we support Trump.
They not only support the president, they are true believers in some of his most contentious policies.
所以说，川普他要缩紧移民政策，这一点是有关美国的生死存亡。还有非法移民、穆斯林，还有一些极端分子进来以后，在美国要制造暴乱、恐怖袭击，这对美国所有的民众都构成一种威胁。
4 more years. 4 more years.
Stephanie Liu came to the US 20 years ago. She used to vote for the Democrats.
New York for Republican.
Freedom means a lot to me because in China, I have everything materially, but I don't have freedom to criticize the government. Here, I have freedom to say whatever I want. But I already noticed that so many Americans, they dare not wear MAGA hat. They dare not to say, I support Trump. They have to be silent majority.
I asked Stephanie what she thinks about the surge in hate crimes against Asian Americans because of COVID.
I don't think so.
You don't think Asians are being attacked?
No, it's very isolated case. Look, you can ask all of them. Nobody experienced discrimination.
And what about the president's anti-China rhetoric?
The president, during the COVID crisis, has referred to it as the China virus, Kung flu. Do you find that offensive?
No, not at all. A lot of Chinese get offended because they were misled by the Chinese media and by CNN. It's just to emphasize this virus came from China, which is true, came from China. I would rather die. I will defend the right to saying China virus. It came from China.
When you hear the president say stuff like China virus, Wuhan virus, what do you hear?
Racism. I hear racist, I hear bigotry, I hear just ignorance. He basically put a target on all Asian Americans, people that live in this country, that were born and raised in this country, right? He put targets on us.
In the nation's most powerful city, thousands are gathering to mark a historic day. After months of marching for Black lives, China Mac and Will are again joining a mass rally against racism here in Washington, D.C. It's the anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous I Have a Dream speech.
Black people shouldn't be marching for the same stuff Martin Luther King was marching for. I'm tired. I'm tired. And I'm tired of asking for justice. My grandsons ain't gonna be marching for the same stuff my granddaddy marched for.
It's a day that Will and China Mac will never forget.
I've never seen anything like this before. I got chills, this is the same place where Martin Luther King stood. This is like 57 years ago. This is what I saw on a TV, on television. We all are fighting the same struggle, and this is so inspirational to see this, and it's just gonna make me push. It's gonna make us push so much harder.
It's hard to believe that just 3 years ago, China Mac was a convicted criminal in prison. Today, he's leading his community in their fight for equality.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
If we don't get it,
It's not something that, I really want to do. It's not something that I really was planning on doing. It's not something that I'm saying, oh, this is going to be the rest of my life, because I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. But nobody's doing it. It hurts to know that the same country that you're born and raised hates you, or doesn't see you as equal. This is my country. I'm just fighting because it's the right thing to do.